Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma.
Laura, hi. Thank you very much for your time. It's a pleasure to have you here, have a Google employee here at BMG headquarters.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Laura, you came to Georgia for the 10th DevFest. Let's talk about the event. How was the experience like?
It was an incredible pleasure to be here, and it was the 10th anniversary and the biggest DevFest so far, with over 2,000 attendees. Yeah, and I was really impressed by the quality of the content and the diversity of both the attendees and the event itself. So there was like workshops hands-on and keynotes and lightning speeds, and yeah, really a lot of things happening. So it was really incredible.
DevFest is one of the things that the Georgian Google community does. But before we jump into discussing the particulars, I want to ask you about how did the Google community originate in Georgia?
So it was a group of volunteers that got together and in 2011, 2012 and started this movement called Google Developer Groups. And they started organizing events like DevFest, but also locally, like regional meetups that happen regularly throughout the months and the weeks. And it's still alive and growing and thriving. So yeah, that was the initial start of the communities in Georgia.
A big part of Google community in general is Google Developer Expert title. Could you share some light? How many GDs are there in Georgia?
Yeah, at the moment there's one very active expert. But yeah, it's part of the wider ecosystem that we have in terms of communities at Google. So there are the experts, there are the Google developer groups that I just mentioned before, which are communities of local leaders that are interested in sharing their knowledge with the local community. We have the Google Developer Student Clubs, which are university students that get together and form groups and teach and learn from each other and with each other. And we have the Women Tech Makers, who are ambassadors for diversity in technology. And we also have Accelerator, which are programs for startups to help them scale and grow. And yeah, the community is thriving in Georgia, so we have one expert, but we have a lot of GDs, and Google Developer Student Clubs are also really growing their footprint, as are Women Tech Makers.
Could you explain how can one become a GED? What is the process like, and what are some potential benefits that these people get?
Yeah, so GD, Google Developer Experts, are leading developers, so top people in a specific technology, right? So there are three key elements that are required to become an expert. First is expertise in one area at least of a Google technology. Secondly is to be an established thought leader in this field, so have a track record of giving talks and running workshops and sharing the expertise. And thirdly, it's about really communication, so being able to not only have the expertise yourself, but also mentor others and explain complexity in simple terms that help others clarify. So those are the requirements, and then once those are met, you can apply through a form, and then there's a community interview, and then there's a product interview.
I understand the benefit for the community, but what sort of benefits do GDs get themselves?
Yeah, so they get access to a community of experts and also get a platform and the support of Google in terms of attending events like the one which has had DevFest, so traveling to share their knowledge and their expertise. And also they get recognized as experts, right, and appear in the directory. So those are some of the benefits, but there are way more.
You just mentioned different types of communities that exist within the Google ecosystem. Let's talk about them in more detail. For instance, let's take Women Tech Makers program or any other that you prefer to talk about. Could you explain what sort of benefit does this bring to community per se in general, and then to contextualize it a bit in Georgia?
Sure. So I can focus maybe on Google Developer Student Clubs, which is my realm. So student clubs are university students that work together to start a club from scratch, right? Mm-hmm. So they are just university students, and then they get together and from the ground in this yearly program create an entire organization, and they create social impact initiatives, really. So in Georgia specifically, there's one initiative that was run a couple of years ago that was called Tech Camp, in which the students got together to help high school students to start coding and start acquiring the required tech skills to make an impact early on. And and it is really inspiring to see what a group of students can do. And really also one thing that we are aiming to do here is to help them bridge the gap between theory and practice. So the knowledge intellectually that they're acquiring, the skills at university, to actually create a bridge to industry and let them apply everything they know already in the real world.
How does a student club, regular club at university, become a Google supported club?
So it's a program that is a yearly program, and in order to become a lead, you apply also, and if you get selected, then you participate in this program, and you get the mentorship from Google and the resources and just the support and access to the community. So there's an interview process that you go through, and if you're selected, then you're part of the community.
Let's talk about Google ecosystem and Google communities in more general sense. Could you shed some light on how many communities are there in the world, for example, and do they grow year by year, and what are the statistics?
Indeed, yeah, they grow year by year, and yeah, it depends. So, for example, Google developer groups, we have over 1,100 at the moment in 140 countries. So it's a really global program. It's the biggest, actually, of its nature in tech.
Wow.
Then, yeah, Google Developer Student Clubs is the newest program, but the fastest growing. So we have, at the moment, just onboarded 1,800 leads globally. Google Developer experts are around 1,000, also across the globe. And yeah, same with women tech makers and accelerators. So it's truly, yeah, a big imprint of global communities.
Laura, thank you very much for your time, for your insight into whatever Google is doing in Georgia and in the world. We hope to see more people, more Georgians involved in Google projects in the future, and see you once again here at BMG.
Thank you so much for having me.
The Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma.